This is a book called Blue Zones, 9 Lessons for Living Longer by Dan Buettner, and presented by me, Lyssa Phillips. So life expectancy of American born today is 78.2 years, but this year is over 70,000 Americans have reached their 100th birthday. That's a lot. What are they doing that the average American isn't? Okay. To answer the question, they teamed up with National Geographic to find out the world's longest lived people to study them. They knew most of the answers lied within their lifestyle and environment. So they looked at that, and they ended up looking at 5 different areas, so not just in the United States, all over the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are the 5 areas I'm going to talk about today. It's pretty interesting. The 5 regions that meet the criteria, and forgive me if I am not pronouncing the countries correctly, is Barbagia, region of Sardinia. It's mountains and highlands. It's the world's highest concentration of male centenarians. Okay. And then there's Ikaria, Greece. Aegean Island, which one is the world's lowest rates of middle-age mortality and the lowest rates of dementia. There's Niquio Peninsula, Costa Rica, the world's lowest rate of middle-age mortality and the second highest concentration of male centenarians. Seventh-day Adventists, high concentration around Loma Linda, California. They live 10 years longer than their North American counterparts. In Okinawa, Japan, females over 70 are the longest lived in the population. Is everybody okay and can understand me? Okay. So the first place is Sardinia in Italy. Just looking at the picture of this alone would just waking up to the beauty every day. You're on a little island, right? It's a teeny little place. And so what's their secret? And you'll see similarities weaved through every single one of these, and at the end I'm going to tell you what the similarities are. They eat plant-based diet, accented with meat. So their diet contains whole grain bread, beans, garden vegetable, fruits, and some parts of the island's mastic oil. The pecorino cheese made from grass-fed sheep is also very high in omega-3 fatty acids. They put family first and celebrate elders. They make sure every member of the family is properly cared for. Multi-generational living. Grandparents provide supply, love, childcare, financial help, wisdom, and expectations to push children to succeed. They drink goat's milk, which contains components to help protect against inflammatory disease. And we've all known that inflammatory disease is associated with longevity in certain heart diseases, Alzheimer's, and dementia, and cancers. They take a walk. The shepherds walk up to 5 miles per day. I don't know what the elevation is like, but I don't think it's a flat island. That's good for the cardiovascular and keeping your muscles and bones strong. Here's the one I like. You drink a glass or 2 of red wine daily. There's regions in, I can't pronounce the place, that the grapes are producing a redder pigment protected from UV rays. As a result, these grapes macerate longer than in any other part of the island during winemaking. This leads to a red wine 2 to 3 times the level of artery scrubbing flavonoids than other wines. So it cleans your arteries out. Isn't that great? Okay, so Loma Linda, California. So their Blue Zone secrets, they find a sanctuary in time. They break away from the rigors of life. The 24-hour Sabbath provides time to focus on family, God, and camaraderie and nature. Okay, so get away from the TV or the phone or the computer, whatever, and just be with yourself. Very important. They spend time with like-minded friends. This is really great. So you spending time with people that think the same way you do and honor your values is really important. They maintain a healthy body mass index. They keep active. They eat meat very sparingly. They have lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, and less cardiovascular disease than any Americans with high BMIs. They get regular moderate exercise, low intensity, helps with heart disease and certain cancer. They give something back. Many members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church are encouraged to provide opportunities to volunteer. This helps them stay active and gives them a purpose to stave off depression and focusing on helping others. That's why I became a nurse. I like to see the smile on other people's faces. So for selfish reasons, right? They eat meat in moderation. They usually follow a vegetarian diet. Whole grains and these fruits and vegetables protect against a wide variety of cancers. Meat, if eaten, is served as a side dish, not a main dish. They eat a light dinner, so breakfast is good and lunch, but eating a light dinner actually promotes better sleep and improves your BMI. They put more plants in the diet and they snack on nuts. More servings of fruit per day, 3 times per week, servings of legumes and beans, 4 servings of tomatoes. They reduce ovarian cancer in women by 70%. It lowers prostate cancer in men. Adventists also consume nuts 5 times per week and have half the risk of heart disease and live 2 years longer than other people who don't. And they drink plenty of water, 5 to 6 glasses a day. I know that when we get older, we drink less because we want to use the bathroom less. And that also leads to urinary tract infections. It's a vicious circle. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Okay, Niquioa, Costa Rica. That's beautiful, beautiful place. That's another, it looks like a peninsula. Okay. They have plan de vida, which centenarians have a strong sense of purpose. They feel needed and want to contribute to the greater good. So they wake up every day with a purpose, which is great. They embrace a common history. The Niquioa's roots are linked with the Shortega and the traditions that help people live with a relatively stress-free lifestyle. Traditional diets of maize and beans are a strong nutrient combination for longevity. They keep their focus on family. They tend to live with their families. Again, multi-generational living. They honor the children and the grandchildren and the grandparents. So I think that's really super important. They maintain their social networks. They get frequent visits from neighbors. They listen and laugh and enjoy what they have. They drink hard water. So water has the country's highest calcium content, perhaps explaining the lower rate of heart disease and stronger bones. They eat a light dinner, fewer calories, as we said before, add to your life. And especially eating light dinners in the evening. They keep hard at work. They've enjoyed physical work most of their lives and find joy in physical chores. They get some sensible some vitamin D for strong bones and health and body function. Icaria, Greece, another beautiful, beautiful place. Okay. So they make family and friends a priority. They foster social connections. That has been shown to benefit health and longevity. People who aren't connected to their communities have better, people who aren't connected to their communities have better health outcomes. I think that's a typo. They mimic mountain living. They have daily routines of gardening, walking to neighbors' houses, doing household chores. They drink some goat's milk. As we said before, goat's milk's good for you. It's a good source of potassium, calcium, stress-reducing hormone called tryptophan, and it helps the gut. They eat a Mediterranean diet, fruits and vegetables, whole grain beans, potatoes, olive oil. They cook with olive oil versus butter. They stock up on herbal. They drink lots of herbal teas that pack the antioxidants. Punch with rosemary, sage, and oregano teas. They are natural diuretics. A diuretic gets rid of the fluid in your body that keep the blood pressure in check. Nap. I love this one. They take a nap every day. I started taking naps every day after I read this. A 35% low chance of dying from heart disease. Wow. They fast occasionally. They fast for half of the year. This cuts calories by about 30% of a normal diet and has been proven to slow the aging process. Oops. So how do we live longer? Well, that was the fifth one. That went by quick. All right. So I will go through this chart individually. I'm sure you guys have already figured it out, right? Move naturally. You don't sit around. You got to move every day. And the more you do it, the easier it will get, unless, of course, you have some really serious health issues. They have a purpose. Did we do Okinawa? I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm sure you can get the whole thing in a gist. They wake up every day with a purpose and what to do, all of these people. So, and a lot of times when you're by yourself, living alone, and your kids are away, sometimes, it gets hard to wake up with a purpose. Downshift. Even in the blue zones, experience stress. Stress leads to chronic inflammation associated with every major age-related disease. What the world's longest lived people have that we don't are routines to shed that stress. Okinawans take a few moments each day to remember their ancestors. Advents pray. Icarians take a nap, and Sardonians do happy hour. 80% rule. I can't pronounce that word. The Okinawans' 2,500-year-old Confucian mantra said before meals reminds them to stop eating when their stomachs are 80% full. The 20% gap between not being hungry and feeling full could be the difference between losing weight and gaining it. People in the blue zones eat their smallest meal at late in the afternoon or early evening and then don't eat anymore for the rest of the day. And this goes back to being in the present moment. And when you're eating, focus on the flavor of the food and the good feeling you get from eating a good meal. Sometimes we, as Americans, eat a little bit too fast. Plant slant. Beans, fava, black soy, and lentils are the cornerstone of most centurions' diets. Meat, mostly pork, is eaten on an average 5 times per month. Serving sizes are 3 to 4 ounces, about the size of a deck of cards. So they don't eat a lot of meat. Wine. People of all the blue zones, except for the Adventists, drink alcohol moderately and regularly. Moderate drinkers outlive non-drinkers. The trick is to drink 1 to 2 glasses per day, preferably Sardinian red wine, with friends and with food. And no, you can't save up all week and have 14 drinks in one standing. Belong. They have a sense of belonging and community. Research have shown that attending faith-based services, 45 minutes per month, will add 4 to 14 years of life expectancy. Loved ones first. I don't think I need to explain that. And right tribe. The world's longest people choose, or we're born into social circles that support healthy behaviors. Okinawa's created MOAS, group of 5 friends that committed to each other's life. Research from the Framingham studies shows that smoking, obesity, happiness, and even loneliness are contagious. So the social network of long-lived people have favorably shaped their healthy behaviors. And to make it to 100, you have to have won the genetic lottery, but most of us have the capacity to make it well into our early 90s, and largely without chronic disease, as the Adventists demonstrate. The average person's life expectancy could increase by 10 to 12 years by adapting Blue Zone's lifestyle. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, Lyssa Phillips from Suburban Lifestyle Realty Group. If you have any questions, call me.
Are these places all moderate in temperature and weather?
That's a good question. I don't really know that answer. I would think they look like they are, you know? Right.
Every single one of them.
Okay. Kathy says every single one of them are all moderate in temperature. They don't deal with the Massachusetts winters.
They're not out in the snow blower every winter.
Yeah, I know. If they are getting milk from their goats and gardening and
Get a goat.
get a goat. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming.